for joining us for the interview of the 2022 candidates for Buncombe County District Attorney. I'm Kit Cramer, President and CEO of the Asheville Chamber, and I'm joined by one of our great public policy volunteers, Greg Burnette of First Citizens Bank. This interview will be with candidate Todd Williams. All interviews will be posted to the Chamber's website at ashevillechamber.org/2022 elections. Todd, thanks for joining us.
Yes, ma'am. Glad to be here.
I'm going to jump right into the first question. What should the top priorities be for the next district attorney?
Well, I think we need to continue to collaborate with local leaders, law enforcement, to reduce violent crime in our community. We have some good things to emphasize. We've got reduction in gunfire, and I got to give credit to APD for their work on that and our collaborations with them to ensure that folks that do gun crime are locked up and held accountable. Robberies are down and homicides are flat. And I'm very thankful for those things. I'm going to knock on wood right here at my desk. Nationwide, that's not necessarily the case. We're seeing spikes in some other communities. That being said, Chief Zach just yesterday or the day before did a public safety briefing for the Public Safety Committee over at City Council, and aggravated assaults are up. And so we're in kind of a strange time post-pandemic where things are getting back to normal, we all hope. And I asked Chief Zach, is the aggravated assaults, is that stemming from intimate partner violence, folks that are being, on lockdown, not getting out and about, and, things are, bottled up and frustrations are bubbling to the surface? Is it that, or is it vagrancy? Is it other things that are going on in our community that can be addressed collaboratively through municipal leaders and, the business community? And right now, I think it's not really known what is driving those aggravated assaults to increase. In addition to that, we're going to continue to provide expanded services to victims. In the fall, we're hiring a master's level social worker within the district attorney's office to provide better wraparound services to victims, especially of sexual assault within the DA's office. And we're going to continue to try to do justice. It's always the role of the DA to prioritize those things pretty much in those order, in that order: violent crime, victims, accountability, and then doing justice case by case.
So Todd, what does the relationship between the police department and the district attorney's office look like now?
I think we have a good one. Like I said, I just had a good broad conversation with Chief Zach yesterday. My relationships with folks in the APD pretty much coordinate around criminal investigations. So I deal most frequently with Chief Zach, Joseph Silverman, Captain Silverman, increasingly with Mike Lamb. Mike Lamb has been a good resource in terms of addressing the unhoused issues in downtown Asheville recently. They've been referring cases to our diversion programs, and we've been coordinating and collaborating to try to identify who are the folks that need to be prioritized for accountability in the justice system. So, I mean, we are in regular contact with the police.
How does that relationship impact how crime is investigated and prosecuted?
Well, it is our constitutional obligation to maintain a relationship, an advisory relationship with law enforcement, and that is the relationship. It's not a relationship that is, it can't necessarily be too closely entangled because we are not investigators. We are prosecutors. We are advocates in front of judges and juries. So we don't supervise their work, but we do advise them as to how to improve cases, make them better, and that, I think that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Well, you alluded to relationship. What should the relationship with the police department and the DA's office look like, ideally?
Ideally, I think that it should be a collaboratory relationship. It should be one, or collaborative relationship, I think is a better word. A collaborative relationship. It has to be at arm's length, though. The district attorney has a separate, obligation in front of the courts, and our job is to exercise discretion, to do justice on a case-by-case basis. It's not to put the screws to everyone that comes into the courthouse. Sometimes, I'm asked, is it the DA's obligation to sort of perform to the satisfaction of the police? And that is not the way I view this job, this role. However, we do need to maintain, satisfactory relations. And I believe that by and large, especially when we prioritize violent crime, we're doing a good job with that. The other reason why I think there needs to be some respectful distance between the agencies is, occasionally, my office is going to be in a position where we have to, very regretfully, I don't relish this at all, but we will have to be in a position to perhaps prosecute, someone that has been involved in excessive use of force or some other wrongdoing within law enforcement. And I think that is essential to maintain, community trust and faith in our separation of powers within the justice system.
Okay, thanks.
So Todd, what is the DA's role in the prosecution of petty crimes that may not carry large sentences, but impact the health and safety of our area's residents and employees?
Well, our role is just the same as any other charge. We are obligated to exercise discretion. There is no crime on the book that I have said that we will not enforce, that we will not prosecute. That doesn't necessarily mean that every charge that comes into the court system will be prosecuted to the nth degree. We are only one actor within the system, right? You have law enforcement. Law enforcement has discretion. Magistrates have discretion. Judges have discretion. And the DA's office, we have discretion as well. What we're talking about in terms of, I think you said vagrancy. Did you say vagrancy? What was it?
I never listed any or said any particular crime. Just asked for the crimes that may not carry large sentences.
Okay, well, okay, that I'm superimposing that term vagrancy on that. I think of class 2 and 3 misdemeanors that, frankly, we have judges that are very compassionate, if you will, and quite often the law, as given to us by Raleigh, doesn't allow for much punishment beyond probation or financial penalties in most cases. So if we're talking about the unhoused population, I know that's been a focus of the chamber. Our judges quite frequently are they're faced with many bad options as to what to do with the case. And, a lot of times we can advocate for a certain outcome, but it's not going to amount to much more than a time served type situation.
Todd, what resources does the DA's office need that it doesn't have? And then please describe your plan for securing those.
Collaboration with the county has given us significant resources to expand our ability to provide substance abuse counseling, vocational rehab, and other services like that are useful to put offenders on a better track in life. The county also has funded Veterans Treatment Court, which is a great thing to coordinate, offenders back to the VA, which is just a fabulous public resource. Increasingly, hiring, for quite frankly, is becoming increasingly challenging. And I think that I'm not the only person in this community that's having trouble with that. I'm trying to hire legal assistants at $37,000 a year. Lawyers start at about 50, 52, and sometimes they have, $150,000, $200,000 in debt. The legislature really needs to step up and I think take a look at the pay plan for district attorneys' offices here in North Carolina. That's a big issue. That goes beyond our local politics, but I have talked with state legislators about that.
So Todd, in a minute or less, what sets you apart as a candidate?
What sets me apart as a candidate is I am the incumbent district attorney. I've been here since 2015, and this has been perhaps the most challenging time to be a prosecutor in recent memory here, perhaps in the United States. We're also coming out of the pandemic. We've got the racial justice issues that have arisen in our national discourse, all while we're grappling with addressing violent crime. I've implemented a number of reforms, and I've seen that some of the most heinous crimes, murders in our county's recent history have been addressed, and folks have gone off to prison for the remainder of their life.
Well, Todd, thank you for being with us today, taking time with us for this interview. As a reminder, you can find interviews of other candidates at ashevillechamber.org/2022 elections. And please be sure to vote in the primary on Tuesday, May 17th. So again, Todd, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate it.